What if I told you that the most powerful shift in modern history didn't come from a war, an election, or a new technology, but from a change so small, so subtle, that most people didn't even notice it. A change that crept into your wallet. A change that modified the definition of value itself. A change that quietly rewired freedom. The answer is not what you think. It's not about banks being greedy. It's not about government seeking control. It starts with a simple promise, a promise that seemed harmless, even helpful. And yet, that promise triggered a chain reaction that transformed entire nations, reshaped human behavior, and slowly tightened a financial noose around billions of people. Today, we're going to unravel the hidden story of how credit conquered cash, and why freedom vanished almost overnight. To understand how we got here, we need to travel back not decades, but centuries, to a world where money was heavy, metal, and undeniably real. You knew what you owned because you could hold it. Gold coins, silver pieces, copper tokens, tangible value in the palm of your hand. Back then, cash wasn't just currency, it was personal sovereignty. No one could freeze it. No one could override it. No one could track it. But this world had a problem. Trust didn't scale. You couldn't carry enough gold to buy a house. You couldn't ship enough silver across continents without risking pirates or storms. Civilizations needed something lighter, safer, and easier. Enter the early bankers. Respectable men with vaults, ledgers, and a reputation to uphold. They made a promise. Give us your gold. We'll keep it safe. Take this piece of paper. It represents your gold. You can redeem it any time. People loved it. Merchants embraced it. Governments tolerated it. And yet, in that tiny moment when people traded metal for paper, the world took the first step toward losing a kind of freedom it didn't yet realize it had. Because once money becomes symbolic, control over it becomes negociable. Negociable. Fast forward to the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Industrialization exploding. Cities growing. People earning more. Spending more. Needing more. Suddenly, businesses realized something powerful. If you could lend money instead of waiting for someone to save it, you could make a customer today instead of next year. Thus began the age of installment plans. Furniture on payments. Automobiles on credit. Houses financed over decades. For the first time in history, ordinary people could access a lifestyle before earning it. This wasn't framed as control, it was framed as opportunity. But the problem with opportunity is that it creates dependence. And dependents are easy to influence. The first major crack in the old world formed here. People started owning things they didn't really own yet. Debt became normal. Banks became essential. And real cash begun. Quietly fading into the background, if you had to point to a single invention that accelerated the fall of financial freedom, it would be the credit card. The earliest versions appeared around the 1950s. Polished, marketed, elegant. They weren't tools. They were status symbols, a small plastic rectangle that whispered, "You're approved. You belong. You can have more." Banks realized something extraordinary. People spent more money when they didn't see real money leaving their hands. Psychologists later confirmed that handing over cash activates the pain centers in the brain. Credit does not. The system was perfect. Too perfect. Governments also noticed the ripple effects. More spending, more taxes, more growth, more credit-fueled economies like gasoline on fire. Debt became the bloodstream of modern society. Cash dash, slow, physical, anonymous, became outdated. But with this shift came something new. Visibility. Every purchase now left a trail. Every financial decision became data. Every data point became something someone could analyze, sell, or weaponize. Credit didn't just replace cash, it replaced privacy. And if you lose privacy, you lose freedom. For a while, this system looked unstoppable. But history has a pattern. Every tool that empowers commerce eventually empowers control. The breaking point came in the early 21st century. Gradually, governments and corporations began merging financial data with digital identity. What you buy, where you go, what you subscribe to, who you donate to, what time you wake up, which neighborhoods you frequent. Every transaction fed a database. Every database fed an algorithm. Every algorithm fed into decisions about your risk, your loyalty, your reliability, even your morality. The shift was subtle. Credit wasn't just a convenience anymore. It became a measurement of your worth. Your credit score became your passport to housing, employment, insurance, travel, and opportunity. It became your value in a system built on surveillance economics. And then the final blow. Governments realized that when money is electronic, it can be turned off. Asset freezes, account blocks, automated fines, negative interest rates, programmable money, restrictions on what you can buy and when you can buy it. All possible because we traded physical cash for invisible numbers. Freedom didn't disappear by force. It disappeared by consent. By the time the world noticed, the change was irreversible. People were drowning in personal debt. Nations were drowning in public debt. Entire generations were raised without ever touching real money. Digital payments became mandatory for basic services. Financial institutions gained unprecedented power. Citizens became transparent, predictable, influence, able. And the worst part, we normalized it. We convinced ourselves that convenience is freedom. But convenience is only freedom when you have a choice. When credit replaced cash, that choice vanished. And with it, the last remnants of financial independence. Over the years, people proposed solutions. Stronger regulations. Didn't work regulators depend on the same systems they're supposed to police? Better consumer education. Noble idea. But education doesn't fix structural dependency. Bring back cash. Impossible commerce moved on, and governments prefer traceable money. Cryptocurrencies will save us. They helped, until governments found ways to monitor exchanges, regulate on-ramps, and push central bank digital currencies. Every attempted fix ran into the same wall. Once society replaces cash with credit, the power imbalance becomes permanent. You can't reverse a dependency without replacing it with something stronger. And nothing stronger has emerged. Now here's where it gets unsettling. The same pattern that happened with cash is now happening with everything. Cash credit, ownership subscription, privacy, tracking, work algorithms, identity digital profiles, freedom, permissions. Look closely at your life today. You don't own your movies. You don't own your software. You don't own your music. You don't own your car's data. You don't even own your phone's operating system. And in many cases, you don't own your money. Here's a shocking data point. More than 90% of global money exists only in digital form numbers, on servers, not cash in circulation. Another, over 80% of transactions in developed countries are electronic, not physical. And another, a growing number of nations have announced active plans to eliminate physical currency entirely within the next decade. The patterns are repeating. The warnings are getting louder. And most people don't see it because the transition feels convenient. Just like credit cards felt convenient. Just like installment plans felt convenient. Just like paper money once felt convenient. Every convenience becomes a cage when taken far enough. So what do we do with all of this? What can anyone do in a world where money itself has become a tool of influence? Here are 3 takeaways. 1. Convenience is the most powerful form of control. Anything that saves time, effort, or friction will be adopted even if it sacrifices autonomy. Recognize the trade-offs before you accept them. 2. Financial freedom requires financial independence. If all your money exists inside institutions you don't control, your freedom is conditional. Diversify your assets. Learn the systems. Build resilience. 3. Privacy is not about hiding anything. It's about protecting something. When every transaction becomes a data point, your life becomes a profile. And profiles can be judged, filtered, restricted, and manipulated. Now, here's the warning. The next phase of this story is already underway. Central bank digital currencies, programmable payments, biometric authentication, AI-driven, financial risk scoring. The credit system didn't reach its final form. It reached its halfway point. The question we need to ask is not, how did this happen? We know how it happened. The real question is, what happens when the last piece of physical money disappears? The only thing left is credit that can be switched off with a key. That's the future we're walking toward. and we're walking fast. If you want more deep dives, like the stories that reveal the hidden systems shaping your world, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because the next episode, we're going further down the rabbit hole. And what we uncover next will change the way you see everything.